All right, science page 41. Okay, so last week, whenever we were going over, we started with plants, and last week we did stems and the flower part of the plant, and we also talked about bees and how they help pollinate the flowers. It's really them that do it, and also the wind. And so God made them like that. They're getting nectar from the plants, but really and truly they're spreading the pollen because it sticks to their legs to all the different plants. And we talked about stems. Stems are like a straw. They take water and nutrients from the roots and give it to other parts of the plant. The largest stem in the world is a tree trunk. Okay, and the stem also holds the plant up too because all the other parts are attached to the stem. So let's talk about the leaves part of the plant. That's the only part that we're going to discuss on this week. Okay, so anybody would like to read? I'm going to open it up for everybody to be able to read. Okay, so let me start us off in 41. Unmute. It's still muted, yeah. I'm 41.
Leaves make food for the plants. Without leaves, plants wouldn't starve to death. Leaves are shaped inside the banana leaf, cannot be taught as a man.
Good, okay? So the main job, you should have that paper. The main job of a leaf is to make food for the plant. That's their main job. A plant has to eat, yes. And leaves help to make the food for that plant so that it can eat. Without leaves, the plants would starve and eventually die, right? Because if you don't eat, okay? So leaves come in all shapes and sizes. They have some that are really small and there's some large. Like I said, the banana leaf is like as tall as a man. So we'll say an average man is like almost 6 feet tall, maybe, I don't know. Right. But so some leaves are that huge. And then we have small leaves like a grass blade, oak leaf, all the different sizes. Okay, 42. So let's talk about chlorophyll and the veins inside of a plant. Okay, Carly? Carly's reading 42.
Let's find out how God designed a leaf to work. Each leaf has veins. The veins carry water and nutrients to each part of the leaf. When God designed leaves, He put different colors into each one. The color that we can usually see is green. We call the green material in plants
Chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll colors the leaf green, but it also has a very special job. The main job of chlorophyll is to help the plant make food.
Okay, so leaves have veins. And so if you look at this leaf right here on page 42, you see those lines and all of that? Those are the veins inside of that plant. Those are the veins. And so the veins are designed. So just like we have veins, remember when we talked about our arteries, right? It carries our blood and oxygen throughout our body. Well, the veins inside of plants carry water and nutrients. So remember the stem is what, I knew there was something there. The stem is like the straw that sucks up the water and nutrients, and the water and nutrients goes through the veins of the leaves. So the leaves carry water and nutrients to all the other parts of the leaf. So when we look at leaves, they're usually green. If we look at them in their season where they should be blooming, where it's, they're green, and they're only green because of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the material, the thing that's inside of plants that's making it green. So that means leaves are not naturally green. It's the chlorophyll inside of them that makes them green. So when we look at them, they're green, but it's only because of that chlorophyll. And so we'll talk about in a second what happens whenever they don't have chlorophyll. But leaves are actually different colors besides green. But like I said, the chlorophyll is what makes them green. The chlorophyll makes it green, but the chlorophyll also has another job. Let's talk about that on 43. The other job that chlorophyll has. Okay, go ahead, Hannah.
God has given the leaf all the ingredients it needs to make the plant's food. The recipe, and it is
Chlorophyll.
chlorophyll, sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. Do you remember what carbon dioxide is? Do you remember what grass plants give off for people and animals to breathe?
Breathe.
To breathe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can do the bottom part, like at the bottom.
If the plant has all ingredients, the leaves can make food. What is the food the leaves make for the plant? It is sugar.
Good. So chlorophyll not only makes the leaf green, but it also is one of the ingredients used to make food. A leaf's job is to make food, but a leaf has to have 4 things in order for it to make food. It will not make food in a plant if it does not have these 4 things. It has to have chlorophyll, water, sunlight, and carbon dioxide. We talked about carbon dioxide before. Remember, we breathe in oxygen, but what do we breathe out? Carbon dioxide. So humans, right? So just like we need plants, plants need us. Because if we are not giving off the carbon dioxide that plants want, that plants need, then the plant will die, right? So a plant needs chlorophyll, water, sunlight, and carbon dioxide in order for it to make food. It will not be able to make food unless it has those 4 things. What is the food for plants? Sugar. That's what they make. So all 4 of those things together make sugar. So do you think you could survive on only sugar?
No.
Like if all day you eat sugar, 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 just everything sugar.
Nope.
Think you'll survive like that?
No.
Probably not. Probably wouldn't have any teeth. Yeah, it just, yeah. You don't want to eat sugar all day, every day. So it's okay to have it sometimes, just not all the time. But anyway, so the food that those 4 things all together make for plants is called is sugar. That's their food, sugar. Okay, let's look at 44. Let's talk about the actual color that leaves are. Because I said the chlorophyll is what's making them green, but that's not their actual color. The chlorophyll gives them that color. Okay. Go ahead, Harlem.
Have you ever wondered why leaves change color in the fall? Winter is the time of the year that the trees rest as the days become shorter. There is less sunlight. Do you remember the ingredients for the plant's food? With less sunlight, the
ingredients. Is that a word? Do you remember the ingredients? Or veins?
veins of the leaf
Okay.
become blocked. No water can come up the veins. Without water and sunlight, the leaf cannot make food. Without food,
Oh, you can stop there. Good. Okay. So we're in this season right now. We're in the fall, right? And so I'm not sure where you are. You can see it, but a lot of the leaves are starting to change colors. I'm not sure, like I said, if you're seeing that right now, but we know that leaves are normally green, but remember, it's only because of the chlorophyll. But now that we're in the fall season, leaves are starting to change colors. Has anybody noticed that lately, as of late, that the leaves are changing colors?
Yes.
Now they're turning into different colors. They're yellow and red and purple and orange. Well, those are the actual colors of these leaves. That's their natural color. But again, it's because of the chlorophyll that we see green. But because we are now entering into the fall season, we have something that's called daylight savings, which I think it's actually this weekend it's happening. But daylight savings happens. Has anyone heard of daylight savings before? When the time changes? Yeah, no. Some people say yes, some people say no. So it happens in the fall and it happens in the spring. We're about to go into the one that's going to happen in the fall. Now, another thing, have you noticed that it's getting dark earlier now? Like it's starting to get dark now at like 6:30. Usually it in the summer, it gets dark at like 8 almost sometimes. Well, that's because we're entering into the fall and then the winter season. So we're going to start having less sunlight during the day because now it's going to start becoming dark at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. It's getting there. It's not fully there yet, but it's getting there after daylight savings. Yeah, it's this weekend. So on Sunday, daylight savings time ends. I think with this one, I think we go back an hour. I don't know, one of them, something. So yeah, usually your devices do it on its own. They change themselves. But anyway, so the time is going to change. So now we're going to have less sunlight in the day. So what that means is that it's going to start to get dark early. Now, remember, what is one of the ingredients for plants? They need water, they need chlorophyll, they need carbon dioxide, and sunlight. Sugar. But if we, well, it makes sugar, but what's the 4 ingredients? If we don't have sunlight, that's an ingredient that is missing, right? So with less sunlight, guess what? Those veins aren't able to pump the chlorophyll through the leaf. So they get blocked, they get stopped up. So that means chlorophyll is not able to push its way through the plant. Chlorophyll cannot push its way through the plant. That's why we'll see the chlorophyll break down, meaning the chlorophyll is disappearing. And that's why we start to see the different color of the leaf, because the chlorophyll is what's making it green. But if there's no chlorophyll, then the plant is not green anymore. It starts to turn into all the colors that we see in the fall. So this is why this happens. You know, we might see it sometimes and we're like, oh, well, this is why it's happening. Does it make sense now? Why you start to see this going on? So yeah, so daylight savings is actually on Sunday. So the time is going to change on Sunday. So it's going to get dark a lot earlier, but it will get light a lot earlier now. So it's, yeah, that's going to stay like that until March, and then it switches back to the other time. I prefer the other time when it gets dark late, right? I really prefer that time. But, you know, now that we're going into the new daylight savings where it's going to change. It's going to start getting dark a lot earlier. So next Monday, you'll see after daylight savings happens on, daylight savings happens on Sunday night. You'll see on Monday, you'll say, man, it's only 5:30 and it's pitch black outside. Yeah, it's going to feel like you need to go to bed, but y'all should. 5:30 is not too bad to go to bed, right? That's too early? Or that's the perfect time?
That's early.
Too early? Yeah, too early. Okay. So that's why so this is what's happening during the fall season. You have less sunlight. It gets dark a lot earlier. So it's blocking the chlorophyll. The chlorophyll is not able to go through the plant. So that's why the plants are changing. The leaf is changing colors. Okay, let's keep reading on 44. Without food. Okay, go ahead, Amina. Unmute.
Without food, the chlorophyll breaks down. When chlorophyll begins to disappear, other colors begin to show. This is because the chlorophyll is no longer strong. Some of these colors were in the leaves all the time, but the chlorophyll hid
them. You skipped the bottom part on 44.
Oh, some leaves have yellow in them, some have red, some have purple, some have orange. Some of these colors were in the leaves all the time, but the chlorophyll hid them. Now that the chlorophyll is gone, we can see these bright colors and enjoy their beauty. What happens to the leaf now? Because
okay, you can stop there. Good. So again, remember, since the veins get blocked, you cannot make it can't make food. So the chlorophyll starts to break down. That's where the other colors come from. So yellow, red, purple, and orange. So you could go out and try to find a leaf and show us tomorrow, okay? If you have any leaves in your yard or nearby, ask your parents first. But if you have a leaf, show us, okay? So some of these colors were in the leaves all this time, but remember, chlorophyll is what hides it. Chlorophyll makes it green, but naturally the colors, the leaves are usually those other colors, okay? So now whenever we see the chlorophyll gone, we can see the leaves. And I think it's like super beautiful to see. Okay, 45, the rest of 45. Come on.
Because the leaf is no longer green, we say the leaf is dead. Soon it will let go of the tree and will flutter to the ground. Rain begins to fall. It helps the leaf to decay or break down. More wind washes the tiny pieces of leaf back into the soil. This adds nutrients to the soil. These nutrients help the tree and other plants to grow.
Good, okay. So the leaf is no longer green, so that means it's dying, right? Because that means it doesn't have all the ingredients to make food. And like we said at the beginning of the lesson, if a leaf cannot make food, the plant will starve to death. And that's what's eventually happening. So though it's really beautiful to see the colors, the plant is actually dying. That's what's actually happening. Or we call it decay, which means to completely break down. That's why if you grab a leaf, I don't know if you've grabbed a leaf before and you just squeezed it and it just crumbles. Yeah, that's what's happening. It's decaying, it's dying. And so then the rain comes, it starts to wash it away and it puts it back into the soil. And these nutrients from that plant will stay in the soil, but it's helping other plants go, but they stay there because the winter's coming next. And then that's why when the spring comes, everything starts to grow again. So you see, we think it's just happening just because, but God had a purpose in all of this, in all the seasons and everything that's happening. God had a purpose in all of it. So it's just amazing once you start to learn, you're like, oh, wow, that's why that does that. That's because God, he's working this process out. And it's amazing because he's not, saying, okay, this happened. No, it's just, he set it in order to do that. And it does. So it's just amazing. So this is what a leaf does. And this is the process that leaves go through, with making the food. And then when the fall comes, this is why they change colors. And this is what's happening to it as it's changing colors. Okay. So if you look at 46, that's just the last part, just a page on the lesson.
What are you doing?
Language. Okay. So we have summer, of course, they're green and, beautiful. Fall, they start to change colors. Winter, they completely die because in the fall, that's what they were doing. They were dying. And then the spring, we see the buds is starting to grow back in the spring. Okay. All right. So that is it for our science. Let's go ahead and move on to social studies, page 61. Yeah, after.
Are we reading? Can I read this one? Because I don't have to read.
Yeah. I wanted to get through it. It's just gonna take us so long, but that's fine. Huh?
That's just studies.
Yeah, social studies, page 61. I think it's yeah. Who's doing that noise? Okay, so let's look at, we are still in colonial America, still during the colonial times. We still have the colonial shops going on. We still have the colonial schooling. And so now we're going to be introduced to a different phase that America is going to go into, being led. So remember, the colonies, they're called colonies because they're under the control of what country? What country are they under control of?
America.
No.
George Washington.
Y'all forgot? I might have to add this on the test.
No.
Uh-huh.
No. George Washington.
No, I said what country is the colonies under control? Thank you. What, Hannah? England. Yes. England. I'm gonna put that on the test.
No. I'm gonna know it. I'm not gonna.
So anyway, like I was saying, so yes, so England is in control of the colonies. Yes, they are here in America, but England still has a lot of control over them. Well, as time is going on, America doesn't want to be under the control of England anymore. They didn't want England because England was making up a lot of laws, and we'll talk about in a second, was making up a lot of laws that they didn't like. So they wanted to become a free country. And that's what we're going to start talking about this week and next week. Okay. But we're going to be introduced to the person who's going to sort of help America become a free country. So George Washington. All right, let's get started on 61. Everybody who did not read,
Right.
trying to give everyone the opportunity to read, guys. Okay, Camille. I didn't say like at the moment. She had just asked. Okay.
There was a boy named George Washington who grew up in the
Colonies.
colonies. As a boy, George loved the outdoors. As he grew older, he learned how to measure and make maps of land. Meanwhile, there was trouble for English colonies. France also had colonies in North America. The French said they owned the same land that English said was theirs. The English and the French began to fight over this land. The French talked some Native Americans into helping them, hoping that together they would be able to defeat the English. This was called the French and India War.
Okay, you can stop there. Okay, good. So we're introduced to a boy named George Washington. He was born in Virginia. This is not in your book, but this will be on the test. George Washington was born in Virginia. Okay, when he was a young boy, his father died, so he lost his father when he was young. But as he grew up, he grew up with his mother. He loved the sea and he loved like surveying the land, like just, learning about the land, just being outdoors. That was some of his favorite types of things to do. He wanted to become a sailor. Y'all know what a sailor is, right? Somebody who sails on ships.
Yes.
Yeah, he wanted to become a sailor, but his mom did not want him to do that. So instead, George Washington ended up joining the military. That's what he did instead. So he grew up in Virginia. He lost his father at a young age. He was raised by his mother. He was really into the outdoors, being outside, hunting, farming, camping, just all of those things were things that he liked to do. He learned skills as well, which were great, especially when he went into the military. He, a lot of those skills that he had, he was able to bring into, some of that knowledge into being a soldier, okay? So George Washington grew up in the colonies, of course. And so during the time where he's growing up in the colonies, there started to become problems between some of the English colonies and France, okay? So France, the people from France, that's, the French people, they had some land in the colonies along with some of the people from England. So you have France and you have England. They're all a bunch of people living in the colonies together. So some of the people in France had their own pieces of land. Some of the people in England had their own piece of land. Well, they started to get into this disagreement because some of the people in France were saying that the English took some of their land. They said, that's our land, it belongs to us. And the English were like, no, it's our land, it belongs to us. So they got into this whole disagreement and they pretty much had a fight over the land, like a real fight over the land, okay? The French got the Native Americans to come on their side. And so it was basically the French and the Native Americans versus the English. And now the Native Americans joined the French side because who was the land originally belonged to? Who was there first? The Native Americans, right?
Washington.
The Native Americans were there first. Remember, but then the colonial people came and kind of took their land from them. So that's why they sided with the French. They were like, well, we're going to be on the French side. So they had this war with one another, and it was called the French and Indian War. Okay. They fought against the English for the land. Okay. So yeah, they had this big war over that. So the French settlers were also actually in Canada. That's why in Canada they speak French. But anyway, they were in Canada, and so this is like the upper part of the colonies and the Canada part all together. That's the part that's like up there by Maine, up there in the state. Okay. So the French wanted more land in America. That's really what it was about. They wanted more land in America. That's why they started to claim that some of that land was theirs. So they had this big disagreement over that. Okay, so let's keep reading. Still on 61. Okay. Brian's gonna read. Yeah, at the bottom. Look how to spell this right there. Rain plus coat. Star plus fish. Fish plus bowl. You have to look at the picture plus the word. So go fix that. Okay, by the time. Right here.
By the time the
French.
and Indian War had started, George Washington had grown up. He became the
Soldier.
and was now
No.
and was known for his bravery. With the help of colonists like George Washington, England, when the French and Indian War.
Good. So whenever the French and Indian War happened, George Washington was actually a soldier at this time. So he was one of the ones who fought in this war. And the English actually ended up winning the French and Indian War. So even though the French and Indians teamed up together, they lost. Okay, page 62. Anybody who did not read? Okay, go ahead, Lyric. Unmute.
I know.
On 62 at the top.
Okay. Colonial life.
Colonial.
Colonial was becoming more difficult for many years. The colonials had been ready by
England.
England, but the king of
England.
England had made ways.
Okay, AWR.
Walls that were not far to
The colonials that
Colonists. Yeah, I know those words can be a little confusing. Colonists.
the
We're not on the list.
colonists to
Declare.
declare their
Freedom.
freedom from England.
Okay, good. So colonial life began. So after this war happened, you know, the English won, but colonial life started to get a little difficult. And that was because the people in England were making a lot of unfair laws for the colonists. A lot of the laws that they were making, the colonists did not like those laws. They felt like they weren't right. They weren't fair. So they were like, we don't want to be under control of by England anymore. We want to be a free country. We don't want England to control us anymore. We don't want them to tell us what we can and can't do. So the King of England, you know, he was doing what he felt was best, but the colonists living in the colonies were like, the king is not making good choices for us here in America. Now remember, the king doesn't even live in the colonies. He lives in England. That's two different places. So they really felt like he's not even living here. So why should he have control over what we're doing here? And he lives in England. We live here in America. So they were now going to declare their freedom. So they were going to write a paper telling England and everybody that they were now a free country, that they didn't want to be under control. So let's see. So here we are introduced to the Declaration of Independence. Okay, 62, anybody? All right, come on, Carly. Yes?
How come you do it?
I did not see this book. Okay.
On July the 4th,
Spelling 4 times. 4th, 1776. On July 4th, 1776.
1776, some important men from each
You didn't even do this.
colony met in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They wrote a paper or letter to the King of England to declare to him that the American colonies were free. In the coming weeks, each of the men signed his name to this letter. It was called the
Declaration.
Hmm?
Declaration.
Declaration of Independence.
Good. So on July 4th, 1776, a bunch of important men from all the different colonies, the 13 colonies, met in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Gonna have to know that. They met in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So they all worked together to write this letter to England to declare to the king, which means to tell him, I did not say yes, to tell him or to make a statement to him that they were going to be a free country. Okay, so they all got together. So it was Thomas Jefferson was one of the people who was there. George Washington was there. Benjamin Franklin was there. It was a bunch of men that all came together to sign this paper and declare that they were free. Okay, so the Declaration of Independence, the actual document is there in DC in a museum in Washington, DC. So if you ever go to Washington, DC, you can see it. So this is on July 4th, 1776. Okay, so let's see how that goes on 63. Anybody? Okay, go ahead, Josiah. Okay.
They traveled very slowly in Corona Bay. Messengers
Let's get
jumped on their horses to spread the news of Declaration of Independence to each of the 13 colonies. The people of American colonies were filled with joy. Church bells rang, cannons boomed, churches were lighted, People paraded down street as drums beat.
Good. So they wrote the letter. They were going to send it to the King of England, but then they also started to tell the people living in the colonies that they were not going to be under England's rule anymore. So the people are excited when they finally heard. They were like, we're going to be a free country. They were excited. So the people of America were filled with joy. They had parades. They were so excited. They were like, yay, we are going to be free. Let's go to 64. Okay, something to see. Okay, go ahead, Harlem. I'll let you do the next part.
The people
Yes.
of France
Go ahead.
gave the Statue of Liberty to the United States and whatever
Honor.
honor of its 100th birthday. If you would like to visit Lady Liberty, you may tour Liberty Island in New York.
Harbor. Okay, good. So, also this is just like a little, little note, but about the Statue of Liberty, which was given to us by the people of France. They gave it to America for America's 100th birthday. So let's talk about Independence Day. This is a holiday. Okay, the 4th of July or July 4th. Has anyone heard of that holiday? The 4th of July, July 4th in the summertime, people pop fireworks. Okay.
Yeah.
Independence Day is also the name of it.
Do you know that our country has a birthday? Since the Declaration of Independence was adopted on July 4th, 1776. That is the day we celebrate. We call this special day Independence Day, but you might know this holiday as the 4th of July. More than 200 years has passed since the Declaration was signed. Yet on every 4th of July, bells ring, drums beat, and parades, and families get together for picnics at the night. There are fireworks, and all of these things remind us of the birthday of a free nation, the United States of America.
Okay. So if you remember, whenever I told you the date that the book said the date that they wrote the letter, it was on July 4th, 1776. Well, that's why the 4th of July is celebrated on that day, because that's the day that they wrote the letter, on July 4th in 1776. So it's been years and people still celebrate the 4th of July every summer. 4th of July, people usually barbecue and pop fireworks, and that's why they celebrate that holiday, because they're celebrating America's birthday, when America, well, not technically the birthday, but when America became a free country. That's why they celebrate 4th of July. Okay. All right. So in 65 talks about the Liberty Bell, which was the bell. We kind of talked about this. Was in our first book, but yes, Liberty Bell. And then something to see if you want to see the Liberty Bell. It's in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Okay. So this is where we're stopping in our social studies. So America has declared that they want to be a free country from England. So next week we'll get into what the King of England will say and how he feels about America declaring that they're a free country. So that's what we'll get into next week. Okay. All right. So that's our science and social studies for this week. Let's go ahead and move on to our phonics. You can get your book out. We'll do dictation first today. We're just kind of doing a lot of things different. 103. All right, so we are on page 103 for your dictation. Yes, 103.
Miss Fluges, can I go use the bathroom?
Yeah, that's fine. All right, so let's go ahead. So first one, so you'll just write the special sound. Okay, first one is crrr, like in crack. Crrr, like in crack. Just the special sound crrr.
Yes, we do.
Okay, can anyone tell me what is crrr, like in crack? What sound should I have written down? Okay, Hannah?
Can I do the next one?
CR, good. Next one, what sound says, I'm sorry, what's the sound in tank? Tank. Tank.
Oh,
The sound in tank.
wait, can I do this one?
I keep saying the sound, like, but that makes it easier, so I'm trying to.
Wait, write
just
the
say
word?
No, write the sound that's in tank.
Fluges, what was the first one?
Crack.
Do you have to write the whole word?
No, just the sound, the crrr and crack. And the next one is what sound is in tank. There's only one sound, so that's why I'm not saying what sound. Okay, can anyone tell me what sound is in tank? Jeff, Evan?
A-N-K.
A-N-K-A. Good. Next one. Oh, this is a good one. What is the sound? What sound says t, like in stopped? T, like in stopped.
That's easy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Easy. You can make it. Stop
Mhm.
doing. It's so.
Still numbers on the book. Okay, what sound says t, like in stopped? All right, let's see. Solomon, what you have?
ED.
Right. ED. Is that what y'all put? ED?
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right, next one. So that was the first 3 lines. Let's go to the second one. I'm going to say a word. You have to write 2 sounds from that one word. That's why there's 2 separate lines. So the word is golden. What are the 2 sounds in golden?
We have to write the special sound.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
We gotta write the whole word.
Not the whole word, just 2 sounds that are in the word golden. Okay, what are the 2 sounds in golden?
Old and then
Mhm. Okay, anybody has it? The two sounds in golden. Go ahead, Camille.
O-L-D, old, and E-N-N.
O-L-D, old, and E-N-N. Yes, good. Okay, let's go to the next row. Now you will write the entire word. First word is cane. Cane. Not Abel's brother Cain, but this is like a cane that you walk with. Like people walk with a cane sometimes.
Wait, I don't know where to start you.
Listen to the vowel.
Oh. Cane.
Yes, like not like Cain and Abel, but this is cane like if someone walks with a cane.
This is
Or there's a place called Canes.
Oh, sure is. Yep, the restaurant. Canes. Oh, you have one there where you live?
I hate cane.
Oh.
I love cane. Cane's chicken. Yeah, the sausage thing.
Okay, anybody has the word cane? How do I write cane? Go ahead, Hannah.
C-A-N-E.
C-A-N-E. Is that how everyone spelled cane? C-A-N-E. Good. Next word, kicking. Kicking. Kicking.
No, there's a suffix in it. Oh, let's do something that special sounds too. Because the I is close to C. The I is just
Okay, kicking. Anybody can spell kicking?
Yes, ma'am. I could.
Okay, go ahead, Josiah.
K-I-C-K-I-N-G.
Good. K-I-C-K-I-N-G.
K and the K.
No. Last one, candy.
But
Candy.
this is too easy.
Miss Flugence,
Uh-huh.
I mixed it all up.
That's okay. If you run out of space, maybe find somewhere on the paper to write it. No.
181. Okay. Now I know. Ow. Why is it out? Now I don't like the alphabet. Alphabet.
Okay, candy. Anybody can do candy for us? Someone who didn't go yet? Anybody who did not go?
I never
All right, go ahead, Harlem.
C-A-N-D-Y.
C-A-N-D-Y, candy. Good. All right, good. So that's your dictation for today. Let's go ahead and go over our phonics charts. Let's start with the charts. Let's do 10 and 11 today. Yeah.
Can I hold the next one? Yeah. Which is 11, right? 10.
All right, chart 10.
Wait, you took
10.
10.
Well, you're gonna miss the chart.
After the charts, after the charts. Where's the charts? The charts here, right there. That's 11. No, it's not. No, I see it as
All right, let's get started on 3. Chart 10, 1, 2, 3. WH says what
and where.
CH says and ER says here. AR says OLD says and Lee says and lamb. EW says house. Enjoy right. And ready. ER says
And Victor says as
all right, good. All right, let's go over chart 11. So I will say the sounds first, and then I will, then you say them after me, okay? All right, let's go. O says in shovel. A says in banana. C says in city. AU says in saw. EA says in leaf. EA says F in thread. EA says A in steak. IE says E in brownie. EY says E in key. EY says A in obey. PH says in phone. BH says in chorus. OUGHT says oughts in thoughts. AUGHT says oughts in caught. G says in giant. DGE says in fudge. All right, good. What's what? Oh, that's for me. All right. All right, so we'll go ahead and practice our next sounds off of chart 11. So we've done so far, we've done half of the sounds. Yesterday we did IE, EY, EYA, and the EAs. So today we're going to do PH that says CH that says k, OUGHT oughts, and AUGHT oughts. So those oughts actually are the same exact sound. They just have that the first letter is the only thing that's different. Okay. All right.
Oh, check the mail. I know. You got it?
All right. Okay, let's look at the first word here. Would anybody like to walk walk us through the sounds in this word? Okay, go ahead, Solomon.
A-L.
Well, AL is a sound, but not for here. But yes, it is, but not in this case.
P-H.
Good, PH, and that's really it. This is, oh, I'm sorry. This is the A that says Okay, what's the word?
Alphabet.
Alphabet. Good. Next one here. Pretty easy. What's the sound in this one here?
What's up, you?
The whole word.
Oh.
A-U-G-H-T. A-U-G-H-T. Ought. What's the word?
Taught.
Taught. Next, right here. What's the sound in this one here?
Go.
Okay, Hannah, what you have? What's the sound? C-H, that says, what's the word?
Echo.
Echo. Good. Echo. Next one here. Pretty easy. What's the sound?
Circle.
That's almost the whole word. O-U-G-H-T. What's the word?
Both.
O-U-G-H-T says ought. But. Next one here. Sounds in this word. Camille.
E-R.
E-R. One more.
P-H.
And P-H. What's the word?
Gopher.
O. That long O.
Gopher.
Gopher. It's an animal. Okay. Next one here. All right. Josiah, go ahead. It's okay. C-H. What's the word? Ache. Yes, like if you have a pain, like an ache, that's the word. All right, so yesterday we also learned a new rule whenever we are applying a suffix to a word. So we did learn that if it has a sharp vowel and it ends with a consonant, we double that consonant. But sometimes words will end with a silent E. Does anyone remember? Could anyone tell me real quick? What do we do to that E before we add the word? Before we add the suffix? What do we do? Let's see. Harlan, what do we do?
Cross out the E and double the word.
Well, just cross out the E. That's it. We only double when it's a sharp vowel. So we just take out the E. So let's look at the word spin. I want to turn it into spinning. Spin into spinning. How would I write spin into spinning? Carly? S?
P-I-N-N-I-N-G.
Good. That was a sharp vowel I-N, consonant N, so we double that in, spinning. Next, I have flip. I want to turn it into flipper. How would I write flip into flipper? Lyric? So, what is this? What is this? That's what? So, what do you write here? There you go. I'm sorry. Yes. F.
L-I-P-P.
Okay.
N-I-N-G.
E-R. Double the P.
E-R.
Flipper. Next, I have shave. I want to turn it into shaved. Shave into shave. Anyone who did not go? I am getting a lot more hands today, praise Jesus. But I'm still not getting some people at all. Well, I mean, like, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Cross out the E.
Okay, so how would I write it? He says cross out the E, so how do I put shade?
S-H-A-V-E-D.
Good, S-H-A-V-E-D. Next, poke. Let's turn it into poking. Poke into poking. Okay, Omar. Oh, you're on mute?
Cross out the E and add the suffix.
Okay, so how would it look?
Poking.
P.
P-O-K-I-N-G.
Good. So we took off the E and added suffix ing. Good. Okay, so
This
just
is easy.
remember your rules. We have other rules, but these are the ones that we've learned so far. All right, let's go over some clue cards.
Miss Blue Dress,
That's it every time. Yes.
we do a challenge, the boys, the girls.
Not a game today, but maybe tomorrow we'll have time to play a game.
And the puzzle.
Maybe.
And the
I'll
puzzle.
take the word and say, hey, you told us. I said maybe.
And the challenge. The challenge.
All right.
The challenge.
I didn't say that. Okay. So I'll show the card and you just,
It's supposed to raise your
Okay.
hand.
Y says E like in rainy. Okay. So do y'all want to pick or do you want me to pick?
Pick. I want to pick. I want to pick.
Y'all want to pick? Okay. Well, I'll call people to pick. So Y says E like in rainy. Okay. Camille, pick a word and describe it for us, and we'll try to, and they'll try to guess.
When you get really messy or
Dirty.
Yeah, that was it. Dirty. Yes. Okay. Solomon got that one. Good. Dirty.
Wait, we're not.
ER says like in bigger. Okay, Harlem, could you pick a word to describe to us so we can guess?
This is something.
You got it.
It's quiet and it gets louder.
Louder.
softer.
Louder.
Which one is it?
Louder. Louder.
Well, yeah, I'm asking him. Yes, louder, okay?
Someone's hollering.
Okay, next, EST says S like in big S. Okay, Evan's gonna describe a word. You gotta come here so they can hear.
This is when you.
Wait, go ahead.
This is when you
This is when you, what?
I can't really think of one.
Which one were you gonna say? Don't say it, just point to it. So, this is when your height is less than everyone.
This is when your height is less. Tallest.
He said this
Smallest.
is, no, he said this is when your height is smaller
Smallest.
than everyone.
Smallest. Shortest.
Shortest, yes,
funny.
shortest.
I wanna try.
Okay, Y says Lee like in slowly. Okay, Hannah, go ahead and pick one. Every time you do that, I'm not gonna call you. Oh, unmute.
Another word for fast. Slowly.
Slowly. Quickly.
Quickly? Not opposite, she said another word. It's a synonym.
Synonym.
Yeah, we'll learn those. EN says in like in sharpen. All right, Serenity, go ahead and describe a word.
So, what's something that's frozen? Frozen?
Frozen? Okay, well, he gave us the word. Her. ES says S like in peaches. Okay, Solomon, you want to give us a word to guess?
Yeah. You do this when you want something.
Washes. Wishes. Wishes.
Wishes. That's what they
Yeah.
said. Wishes.
I just said it first.
Yeah, they said it.
Miss Florence,
Uh-huh.
My cousin.
my iPad might die.
Okay, get your charger.
Oh, that's down.
All right, IND says IND. Amina, pick one.
This is something when this is something this is something what you're thinking about.
Mine.
Think about it in your mind. Good. Okay. All right. I'll do the ones because they're on chart 11. So we never. Okay. O says no, I'll do one to see it. O says like in shovel. Okay. So this is we're actually in a new one of these right now. So most of them end with 30 or 31.
Monday.
After that, we go into a new one.
Mine.
So you should finish before you say the verb. A says in banana. This is an animal that lives in the west.
Buffalo.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
West?
Okay. Yeah, in the west. We'll talk about them when we get to it. So C says in city. Okay. This is whenever we have to pick what we want. We have the
Choice.
A U says like in faucet. Okay, when something happens because of you, that means it was your
Fault.
yeah. AW says like in saw. This is something that we cut.
Claw.
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 Lawn, the lawn, cut the grass.
That's what I said.
EA says like in leaf. This is something that we use to fry food. Grease.
Yes.
EA says like in thread. Okay. This is what our lungs give us.
Breathe.
Breath. Special sound. EA says A like in steak. Whenever you are tired and you just want to take a pause, you are taking a
Break.
IE says E like in brownie. Okay. This is someone who takes things that are not theirs. EY says E like in key. This is what bees make from nectar. Honey. PH says like in phone. Okay, this is what we're doing right now.
Teaching.
Phonics.
Alphabet.
We have a sound and
Phonics.
teaching. I didn't know that. Says like in chorus. Okay, this is who we worship.
God.
Christ. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. All right. So that is it for phonics. Oh no, it's not. Sorry, I have one more thing. Just kind of practicing our sentences.
Wait a minute.
All right, so I'll read a sentence and you tell me what type it is. Is it declarative, interrogative, or exclamatory, exclamation sentence? So, do you know what a koala looks like? What kind of sentence is that? Do you know what a koala looks like?
Interrogative.
Koalas are not really bears. What type of sentence? Koalas are not really bears. Declarative. A koala sleeps up to 20 hours a day. What kind of sentence is that?
Exclamation mark.
Exclamatory. Yes. Yeah. I know that word is a little. How many hours do you sleep? What kind of sentence is that? How many hours do you sleep? Josiah?
I sleep 7.
Interrogative.
Interrogative. What an amazing animal the koala is. What type of sentence? Exclamatory. We're gonna have to practice how to say that. Yeah. Okay, awesome.
Exclamatory. Exclamatory.
No.
Exclamatory.
Yeah. Exclamatory, exclamatory. Either one of those will do. All right, good. Let's go ahead and go on to math.
Miss Flugence,
Uh-huh.
how many more studies I do?
Math and then language and reading, then we'll be done.
Math, language, and reading.
Math, language, reading. And then
Love
we're
reading.
finished.
Nah,
Got somewhere to go?
nah.
Can I use the bathroom? Hey, I love this one.
Okay. All right, so let's review a couple of things. We have 2 things that we're learning new today, kind of new, but let's review first. So remember, we learned the digital date on last week, how to change the written date like this into the digital date. By the way, it's Tuesday, November 2nd. I didn't say the date earlier, but yes. So October 17th, 2009. Can someone turn this into a digital date for me? October 17th, 2009. Let's see who remembers how to do this. How to turn the date from written into digital. All right, Hannah, go ahead. Let's see. So what do I do first?
1709.
Okay, so can you tell us why you're saying 10?
Because October is the 10th.
Good. October is the 10th month of the year. So we put 10, put that line. Then what do you do next?
For the 17th.
For the day, 17. And then what do I do next?
09.
09, the last two numbers in the year. So we put month, day, year. Good.
Day, year.
Awesome. Let's put these in order from least to greatest. So I have 35, 71, and 14. Let's put them in order from least to greatest, starting with least, our smallest. Which number would go first, Carly?
71. I mean 14.
14 will be first. That's the smallest. Which one is the next smallest out of those two, 35 and 71? Which one will be our next smaller number?
71.
Okay, Brian. 35. And then obviously the largest number is
71.
71.
Good. Yesterday we learned how to combine all the coins. Was everybody able to look at the video?
No, ma'am.
That was the video I
Yes.
had added.
Yes,
Remember
ma'am.
our Zoom ended, so I added that video. Hopefully we were able to watch.
But I do know how to combine
I
those.
like doing coins.
Yesterday. You did it in class.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a lot.
No, it's not.
No, that's a lot.
And
I know how to
count.
So let's look at it. So remember, I divided it yesterday just to kind of break it down. So really, it's about knowing how to switch your counting. That's what's important. If you know how to switch your counting and you're paying attention to the coins, it won't be too difficult. So would anyone like to count this first amount for us? I have 3 dimes, 4 nickels, and a penny. Anybody would like to count this out for us? Okay, go ahead, Solomon. Start us off.
10, 20, 30,
Good. So now I jumped to
35,
5.
34, 30,
Wait.
45,
wait.
46.
Pause. So from 30, I start counting by 5. So from 30, when I start counting by 5, what do I say here?
35, 40, 45, 50,
Now I go to
51.
ones. 51. 51.
I said that.
Awesome. Did anybody get that in their mind when they were counting?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the next one. So I have these 10s, these 5s, and the 1s. Anybody like to count this for us
I know
here?
how to count it.
Okay, go ahead, Serenity.
Okay, I'm gonna,
Ten.
10, 12,
20, 30, 40, 50, 60,
Okay, now we jump to 5. So 60. Now what do I say next?
65,
Uh-huh.
70,
Mm-hmm.
75, 80, 85,
Wait, stop here. Now I go to 1. So stop at 80. Start counting by 1. 81,
86,
81,
82, 83,
84,
84.
84 cents. All right, do you have a paper ready? Let me give you a challenge one. Let's see. Who can do this? Get a paper ready. I'm gonna give you 3 of them to try on your own. So you're gonna draw them out just like this. Draw the circle, put the amount inside of it, okay? So the first one, are we ready? Not yet?
Ready.
Do it like do all them?
What you mean, like this? No, just the ones I'm gonna put up. Okay, let me know when you're ready. Just give me a thumbs up so I can know.
Ready.
All right, let's see.
Thumbs up.
Looking for the first 5 to show me the answer. The correct answer, not what you come up with, but the correct answer. I want everybody to do it, but I'm just looking. It's a little challenge. Let's see. All right, so I have 4 dimes, 3 nickels, and 7 pennies. How much money? Draw it out. 4 dimes, 3 nickels, and 7 pennies. Don't say it out loud as well. Just show it to me.
Can we? Never mind. Done.
Let's see. Okay, flip it over. I have 1. Let's see. Put it a little closer, Harlem. And Hannah, a little closer for me. 2, Harlem. Hannah, push it over. Other way. A little more. Still can't see the answer yet. Yeah, how much money? You drew it out, but how much money is it?
62 cents.
Ah, don't say it. No, I was not that. I was asking her.
God.
Okay, good, Amina. I see. So it's 3. A little closer, Camille, so I can see the answer. Put it down a little bit for me. What's your answer? Y'all drew it, but I need the answer. Count it after you write it. Okay, good, Solomon. Just put your cent sign.
Look. It's right.
I did say that.
Oh, la, 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 la.
Okay, good, Hannah. Good. Seems like a lot of us are getting it. Awesome.
It is very easy.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. 5 cents.
5.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. A little closer, Lyric. Too far. Okay, good, Camille. Okay, just make sure you're putting the amount. How much? Good. Okay, so tell me those who have it, how much money? 62 cents.
62 cents.
Awesome. It's okay if you didn't get it. It's all right. We're going to do another one.
Yay.
All right, this one. Let me hide it first.
No.
No. No.
Hey, stop.
All right, 7 dimes, 1 nickel, and 3 pennies.
Okay.
This one's easy. 7 dimes, 1 nickel, and 3 pennies.
Done.
Let's see, good. All right, got it, Solomon. Good. Pick it up a little, Hannah. Good. Josiah, put a little closer. Oh, looks like it fell. Okay, good. Waiting on a few more before I give the answer. Yes, good, Harlem. Okay, good, Camille, I see it. Good. Okay, are we ready almost? Trying to give everybody a chance, okay? Let's see. Okay, good, Omar. All right, so tell me how much?
78
Thanks for help. Quit when I get
This is the last one.
Don't hide it. 9 dimes, 5 nickels.
What's that noise?
Someone's TV is on and it's kind of. Okay. 9 dimes, 5 nickels, and 2 pennies. Oh, this one's gonna be interesting. I want to see how you'll write this one out. 9 dimes,
this is
5
gonna be
nickels, and
easy.
2 pennies. Go ahead.
This is not. Hey! Look.
It's
Yeah,
Florence.
don't look
I
at
don't
his
know
thing.
the rest.
That's okay.
Me neither.
This one is supposed to be a little challenge. I'll explain though.
It's very hard because when you count by the tens, it stops to 90.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Done.
Got it.
I didn't even count. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Any answers yet? Not yet? Still counting?
Yes.
Okay, we see. Almost.
Is it 100? No.
Solomon, I think you missed the nickel. Yeah, let's see. Okay. So now I will say this one is past the dollar, okay? It's past 100, which means past the dollar, because in money we say $1, not 100. So if you're going past 100, that's right. That's supposed to be that way. But you have to figure out how to finish count the rest. Okay? I've seen a few answers right.
I know.
Okay, yep, Hannah, that's it. Good. Let's see. Okay. All right, so how much money should it have been? It's $1.17. So I had 90 cents with the 9 dimes, then I had 90, 95, $1, $5, $10, $15, then plus my 2 pennies made it $1.17. That was a challenge.
I just counted it out.
It was a little bit. All right. All right, so today we're going to learn about what's called a line of symmetry. Pretty, it's like
this.
yeah, they learned that today too. So a line of symmetry is basically a straight line that we put inside of a shape to divide the shape in half, okay? So a line of symmetry is a straight vertical line. It's not any other kind of way. It's a vertical line that we use to divide a shape in half. So whenever I put a line of symmetry in a shape, I have to make sure that my line is down the middle so that I can have equal pieces on both sides. If I draw a shape and I put my line of symmetry, say if I have this shape here, and I put the line like this, that is not a line of symmetry. Yes, the line is a straight vertical line, but my pieces are not equal, right? Yep. They are not. So in order for me to have a line of symmetry, it has to be straight down the middle. So it would look something like this. Line of symmetry. Do you see how it's equal on both sides? That's a line of symmetry. Line of symmetry is simply a vertical line straight down the middle of a shape. So in this square here, I'll put a line of symmetry down the middle. See that?
Yes, ma'am.
Equal pieces on both sides. So can you draw me a shape and draw a line of symmetry? It can be a square, a triangle, or a circle. Let's see your line of symmetry.
Can we do all three?
Sure, but why are these books on the floor?
That's not mine. These are mine. I put mine back in my hand.
Oh, no.
It's all. I need to draw like a star.
Miss Goodness, my picture is looking, but I still got to do it.
Okay, praise the Lord.
I did all three of them. Pretty easy.
Okay, looks good. Nice. Okay, awesome.
Miss Florence,
Uh-huh.
can I use out my notebook?
Use what?
My notebook. I'm running out of paper.
Oh, yeah.
They want the same shape. They want equal.
Mm-hmm. Okay, is that good? Everybody's good? Yeah?
Yes.
All right, so last part of our lesson, we'll kind of do it a little more tomorrow, but we are going to move on to double digit addition. Does anyone remember this from last year, adding two numbers?
Yes,
No.
Not really, yeah? Okay. So we usually, whenever we have our math facts, we usually add just single digits like 3 plus 2, 4 plus 5. But now we're going to start adding double digits, which means two numbers at a time. So I have 52 and 41 that I'm adding together. So there are some steps that we have to make sure to follow whenever we start to add. And it's very important that we follow those steps because soon, in a couple of weeks, we'll move on to how to carry over. So you really have to follow those steps that I show you when adding, because if you do it wrong, when it comes to carrying over, you'll be confused. So make sure to follow the steps. And because it's easy like this, but carrying over makes it a little harder. So, okay. So remember, all numbers have a place value. We talked about place value a couple of weeks. Remember, we have our tens and our ones place. Well, we'll do it the same way, but basically using money. We'll have the dimes and the pennies, okay? Dimes are tens, pennies are ones. So whenever we are adding double digit numbers, we have to make sure we always start in the back, okay? We cannot start in the front. We have to start in the back. Like I said, especially when we start to carry over, we have to make sure to follow that rule, because when we carry over to the 10 side. So if you try to start here and then try to carry over to the back, your whole answer will be wrong. So when we start adding double numbers like this, we start adding from the back. And we always go from top to bottom. Why? Because I'm adding the top plus the bottom and I'm bringing it down. Top plus the bottom to bring it down. I can't go the bottom, top, and then come around, bring it down. It doesn't make sense, right? So I always go from top plus the bottom and bring it on down. So this will be 2 plus 1, and that equals what?
3.
3. Wow. After I finish adding my back numbers, I move to the front numbers and I do the same thing. Top plus bottom. So that's 5 plus 4, and that equals 9. So what is the answer?
9.
93 cents.
So 52 cents plus 41 cents, awesome, equals 93 cents. Okay, good job. Next I have 36. 36 cents plus 62 cents. So I start adding where? The back, and I go from
Top to bottom.
top to bottom. So I add 6 plus 2 first, and that equals 8. Then I do the front numbers. 3 plus 6 equals how much money?
98.
Good. 36 cents plus 62 cents equals 98 cents. So whenever I'm adding double numbers, I start with the back. I go from top to bottom. Then I move to the front, and I go from top to bottom. And to bring my answer down, again, you go from top, bottom, down. Top, bottom to bring the answer down. Okay. So tomorrow we'll do more with it. I just wanted to kind of introduce it today. Tomorrow we'll actually do some more, and you'll start working on it on your own. Okay. So that's it for math. Let's go ahead and move on to language. Did everybody watch their video on action verbs yesterday? That video was added as well. If not, I'll go ahead and explain it again.
I didn't have a computer.
The students, I know what a verb is.
Oh
The
yeah.
whole thing?
Yes,
Okay, good.
without looking.
All right, so tell me.
Action
A
verb.
verb is a word that shows an action links to a state in another verb.
Okay, almost. Keep practicing. It's getting there. So a verb is a word that does in action, shows a state of being, links two words together, or helps another verb. That's the 4 things that a verb is. It's a person, it's an action verb. So yesterday when I was explaining action verbs, I said that action verbs are actions. It's movement. Any word that requires you to move is called an action verb, right? So could some people give me examples of action verbs? Raising your hand. I'll let everyone give me one. Everybody's gonna give me one. Yeah, let's do it like that. Okay, so let's see. Go ahead. Camille, give me an action verb, a word that requires us to move. Camille? An action verb. A word that requires us to move.
Jumping.
Jumping, yes. Or jump, yes. Okay. Brian, what you have?
Rolling.
Growling?
Roll.
Oh, roll. To roll. Hannah?
Running.
To run, yes, running. Okay, what are some other action words? Evan?
Swim.
Swim. That's an action. It requires you to move. Okay? Josiah?
That's my
Huh?
Walk.
Walk. To walk is an action. Good. Lyric, an action verb.
Skipping.
Sleep, yes. Action verb, Carly. Work. To work. Action verb. Omar, action verb. Oh, you're on mute still.
run,
Okay, I have run. Give me another one.
ran,
Well, that's the same word, just different ways. Another one. Think about something that we've done.
driving,
To drive. Good. Drive. Okay. Who didn't go yet? Harlem.
Skipping.
To skip. Yes. Action verb. Okay. Solomon.
eggs,
Hmm?
eggs,
Eggs,
mm,
an action verb.
cooking,
Cook, yes, to cook. Serenity, action verb.
Cry.
To cry, good. So all of these are examples of actions. If it requires a movement for someone to move, it is called an action verb. So today I'm going to introduce the opposite of action verbs, which are called state of being verbs. Where's your paper? So state of being verbs are the complete opposite of action verbs.
My paper. Wait, we have to write it.
Yep.
Get our paper.
Mhm. Okay, so you may want to write this down today. You have to memorize them. Okay? So action verbs require us to move and to do some kind of action. But state of being verbs are not the same. Whenever you say a state of being, what means is that you are there. You are just there. You're not moving. You're not doing anything, but you are there. You're existing. That's called a state of being verb. If I would say I will run, run is an action. But if I'm not doing anything, but I am still there, those are the state of being verbs. And I'm about to give you the list in a second. But I wanted you to understand what they mean. State of being means that you are just there. You're not doing anything. You exist and you are there. The state of being verbs are am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. Those are the state of being verbs. So anytime you hear one of these words, these are verbs. They're called the states of being verbs. There you just are. So for example, I am. I am. I'm not doing anything. I just am. I'm there though. You know that I exist and you know that I'm there. So that's a state of being verb. I am. Okay, if I would say you are, you're not doing anything, but you exist and you're there. Are is a state of being verb. You are. Sorry. She is. She is. Is a state of being. She's not doing anything. She's not moving. She just is. She's existing. State of being verbs. So this is how you use state of being verbs in sentences. I am. You are. She is. He was. We were. Those are ways that we use those type of verbs in sentences. These are the state of being verbs. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. We usually try to memorize them with a song. We'll say like am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. And then we have some more that we learned, which are the linking verbs the helping verbs. But again, am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. That's the song we sing whenever we're trying to learn them. So try to memorize the clap and all that. That might help you to remember them. If you forget them while you're taking the test, you're like, I don't remember. But then if you for the song, that'll help you. So again, am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. One more. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. Okay, so that's the song for the state of being verbs. State of being means that you are just are. You're existing, you're there, you're not doing any type of action, any type of movement, you just are. So go ahead and write these down.
I don't have my pencil.
Well, you need to find it.
Write that too.
Huh?
Yeah. Write the action verbs too.
If you didn't write them down from yesterday. It has to be somewhere there. You had it a minute ago.
I'm gonna sing the song after I do it. I'm ready to this. All of us will. Yes, and this. Get under from the table. Get under my table, girl. This was it. I got it. Can I look on my Phonics? You can wait with that. Yeah, with that pencil. Can I look at my Phonics because I'm done? Phonics and language.
Math is always first.
What?
Math.
Oh. Hiya, 52. Hey. This was it. We'll forget something. You didn't.
Miss Blue Gems,
Uh-huh.
I did it.
Did? Okay.
Did you forgot to do that?
Yeah, I did. Maybe tomorrow. Remind me.
Okay. I'm going to write it down on my paper too. It's time now. Okay, I wrote it down. Okay, I'm gonna take off my glasses. Almost done. We just got one more subject.
No, this was it. Oh, reading.
We never did read. Why are you doing that? That's all you got.
Okay, I'll give about another minute for y'all to finish. Get it. If not, I'll have video so you'll be able to finish then.
Mine. I wasn't even in the business. Oh. You don't even know what I'm doing. You're asking me why am I doing this? That's the baby. If you do, and then if you do, stop going. Stop.
will do. Nice to get to big.
You guys could be doing your math.
Okay, do we have it? Or almost, what, yep. Okay, if not, a video will be up where you can go back and look over it. So these are the action verbs in state of being, okay? So our last lesson will be our reading. If you can get your reading ready.
Okay. For mine. Is 110. No.
What page is it?
So yesterday, your story was on 117, making the best of it. Yeah, remember the roosters were upset about the day? Did y'all read your story yesterday?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Just making sure you read. All right, we're on 120. Sorry, hold on.
17.
I have to make sure. 131, the Lost Camel. There are some little poems in between, but we're just gonna focus on the story.
Camel.
The Lost Camel, 131.
We didn't read this one. Yes, we did.
130.
131, yeah. The Lost Camel.
The last camel. There was. Miss Lucas, can I read?
Okay, the Lost Camel. All right, come on, Carly. Go ahead.
A man from the east with great wisdom was once traveling in the desert. He met a group of
Merchants.
merchants. The merchants traveled around selling things. We have lost one of our camels. The merchants said to the wise man, "Have you seen him?"
Okay, so a man from the east ends up meeting some merchants. What is the man looking for?
Camel.
I'm sorry, the merchants as the wise man for if they saw what? His camel. Okay, let's see. 132.
Can I read?
Going in between.
At the film.
Okay, go ahead, Omar.
We didn't even read suppose.
132, and you're on mute.
Suppose.
Was your camel blind in his right eye? Asked the wise man. Yes, said the merchants. Was he lame in one foot? Asked the wise man. Yes, he was, said the merchants. Did he have a front toe missing? Asked the wise man. Yes, he did, replied the merchants. Was he loaded with wheat on one side and with honey on the other? The wise man asked.
Okay, good. So they're asking the wise man if he saw their camel. So the wise man starts to say, well, was your camel blind? They're like, yeah. Was he lame in a foot? Yes. Did he have a front tooth? And they're like, yes. And so I'm sure they're like, how does he know all of that about our camel? That's a lot of specific things. Okay, good. Omar, okay, 133, we'll do half. Come on. Now, please, might do the other half. Josiah, you'll do the other half.
Where did you see our camel? Asked the merchant. I have not seen your camel, said the wise man. The merchants were very angry. You must have seen him. You know all about him. Have you taken our jewels and our money from his road?
Okay, good. So then whenever they realize the wise man is asking all these questions about their camel, they start to say that the wise man took their camel, and they accuse him of taking their jewels and money. Okay, all right, Josiah.
No, said the wise man, I have not seen your camel, your jewels, or your money. The merchants did not believe the wise man. They took him to the judge. After they had told their story, the judge asked the wise man some questions.
Okay, so the wise man is like, nope, I have not taken any of that from you. But they didn't believe him, so they took him to the judge. So now they're taking him to the judge because they're like, we don't believe you, you took our camel. So let's see on 134 if he took their camel or not. Okay, Harlem, you can do half. I'll pick someone to do the other half.
How did you know that the camel was blind in his right eye? Asked the judge. The wise man replied, I knew the camel was blind in his right eye because he had eaten grass on only one side of the path. How did you know that he was lame in one foot? Asked the judge. I saw that the print of one left foot was
Painter.
fainter than the others, said the wise man. How did you know that he was missing one tooth? Asked the judge.
Okay, stop there. So they bring him before the judge, and so they start to question him. How did you know this? And his answers are true, right? He's like, well, I noticed this because of how the camel was walking. He only would eat grass on one side, and he was lame because one footprint was like deeper in the ground than the other. So he's really explaining it right? Like why he knew that. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to the bottom. 134. Okay, Solomon.
Whatever the camel had eaten, a small tooth of grass was left untouched in every bunch, said the wise man. Now, said the judge, tell me how you could tell what the camel was carrying.
Keep going.
The wise man replied, I watched busy ants on one side and flies on the other side. Then I knew that the camels were loaded with wheat and honey. I also knew that the camel had strayed away. There was no footprints before or behind the camel's footprints. You are indeed a wise man, said the judge. I think you are also an honest man. Then he said, the merchants go and search for your camel. The merchants did look for the camel. They found him not far away, and his load had not been touched. How much better is it to get wisdom than gold?
Awesome. Yes. So the wise man answers all of the questions, and it actually made sense. And so the judge saw that, and he said, all right, wise man, go get your camel. He's telling you exactly where your camel is. If you would have just listened to him instead of bringing him here, you would have known that. So they go and they find not only their camel, but what else? All their jewels and their money that they thought that the wise man took, that he did not take. So they found their camel, and the wise man helped them out to find their camel. He noticed a lot of things about the ground and where the camel was walking past, and that helped him to see, oh, the camel's such and such. All right, good. So that's our story on today about the camel. Tomorrow we'll go into our next story about Rolly. Okay. All right, so that is it for us today. We've covered all of our lessons. Science, social studies, phonics, math, language. We didn't do writing today, but it's just a review. So, all right, so that is it for us. Make sure you complete all your workbook pages. I did not tell you all on yesterday. I forgot, but we have show and tell on Friday, okay? So we have our next show and tell on this Friday. It'll be right after our spelling test. So we'll finish our spelling test, and then you can log on to the next link for our for show and tell. So you can get your item ready for show and tell to show everybody on Friday, okay? All right, so that is it. I hope y'all have a great day. I will see you all on tomorrow morning, okay? Bye.